Jaya Satakaracharya, Ashtottara Satasri Srimad Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti, Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Tanuga Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaurya Premanande Glories to Samudra, glories to Samudra, all glories to Shri Shri Guru, all glories to Shri Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Before you begin, Morris, can I ask everybody can move up some because more people are coming in and there's no room back here.
You are welcome. Move in. Reading from text 11, Canto 7, chapter 7. Idyuktastam vihayendro Devarshirmanayan vachah Ananta priya bhakyainam Parikramya divam yayau Iti yuktastam vihayendro Devarshirmanayan vachah Ananta priya bhakyainam Parikramya divam yayau Iti yuktastam vihayendro Devarshirmanayan vachah Ananta priya bhakyainam Parikramya divam yayau
Iti yuktastam vihayendro Devarshirmanayan vachah Ananta priya bhakyainam Parikramya divam yayau Iti yuktastam vihayendro Devarshirmanayan vachah Ananta priya bhakyainam Parikramya divam yayau
Ityuktastam vihayendro Devarshirmanayan vachah Ananta priya bhakyainam Parikramya divam yayau
Iti yuktastam vihayendro Devarshirmanayan vachah Ananta priya bhaktyam Parikramya divam yayau
Mataji's
Iti yuktastam vihayendro
Devashemanayam Vachah Ananda-priya Bhaktainam Parikramya Divam Yayo Iti Uttastam Vihayendro Devashemanayam Vachah Ananda-priya Bhaktainam Parikramya Divam Yayo
Iti, thus, Uktaha, addressed, Tam, her, Vihaya, releasing, Indraha, the king of heaven, Devarishe, of the saint Narada Muni, Manayan, honoring, Vachaha, the words, Ananta-priya, for one who is very dear, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhaktya, by devotion, Enam, this woman, Parikramya, circumambulating, Divam, to the heavenly planets, Yayo, returned. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. When the great saint Narada Muni had thus spoken, King Indra, being respectful to Narada's words, immediately released my mother. Because of my being a devotee of the Lord, all the demigods circumambulated her. Then they returned to their celestial kingdom. Purport. Although King Indra and the other demigods are exalted personalities, they were so obedient to Narada Muni that King Indra immediately accepted Narada Muni's words concerning Prahlad Maharaja. This is called understanding by the Parampara system. Indra and the demigods did not know that a great devotee was in the womb of Kayadhu, the wife of Hiranyakashipu, but they accepted the authoritative statements of Narada Muni and immediately offered their respects to the devotee by circumambulating the woman in whose womb he was living. To understand God and the devotee by the Parampara system is the process of knowledge. There is no need to speculate about God and His devotee. One should accept the statements of a bona fide devotee and thus strive to understand. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanat Mirantasya Jnananjana Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lankayate Yatkrivahamaham Valde Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramanandamatkavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Parashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadeshadarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasani Gauravaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nirantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. For those of you who were not here yesterday, we'll just summarize what's happening. This is the recollection of Prahlad Maharaj to his schoolmates. He's trying to tell them about his history, and he's trying to recollect how his father Hiranyakashipu went off to perform severe penances so that he may get special boons. And at that time when he went away, leadership was vacant in the kingdom, and so the demigods attacked. And they took over all Hiranyakashipu's riches, his treasury, his palace, and the place and everything. And they were rejoicing. At that moment, they also found Hiranyakashipu's wife, who was pregnant. And they started dragging her. And she was wailing and crying. And all of them surrounded Kayadhu, who was the wife of Hiranyakashipu. And they were vowing that we would kill her, kill the child in her womb, so that Hiranyakashipu's junior doesn't come forth again. And this way they were preparing to do things. At that time, Narada Muni accosted them. And he said, leave this lady alone. Don't do anything to her. She is bearing in her womb a great devotee. The moment she said that, the demigods who were in a different paradigm, they were busy trying to destroy Hiranyakashipu and his descendant. They immediately left her because Narada Muni said so. So this shloka, when the great saint Narada Muni has thus spoken, King Indra, being respectful to Narada's words, immediately released my mother. Because of my being a devotee of the Lord, all the demigods circumambulated her. Then they returned to their celestial kingdom. Instantly they were willing to change. At one point they were thinking we should kill her and the child. And the next moment when Narada Muni gave them knowledge, it's a great devotee in her womb. It's not junior Hiranyakashipu, don't worry. And we need to secure her. Instantly they obeyed. They circumambulated that lady. Because Narada Muni said there's a great devotee in the womb, they instantly took the blessings of Prahlad Maharaj. They went round, Yani Kani Chapapani, they did around this lady. And they left to the celestial kingdom. So this is the power of the words of a pure representative of the Lord. And this is the way to listen to it, like the demigods did. They immediately heard what Narada Muni said. Obedience to the Guru, obedience to the Acharya, obedience to the senior. This is a culture, not just a culture of respect alone. This is beyond that. Taking the words as true, no more questioning. The demigods did not ask Narada Muni, oh, he said, how did you know about that? That there's a devotee inside. And Hiranyakashipu is such a strange guy, he's a villain. And how do you think that the devotee will come out of him? They didn't ask all these funny questions. It was totally different to expect that Hiranyakashipu will father a son who is a devotee. And they should very well have asked these questions. Oh, really? I don't think so. I don't think this lady will have a devotee as a son. And how do you know, by the way? Who are you to say this? We are celebrating victory. And part of our victory is to kill this lady and kill the kid inside. They could have said so many things. And this would be the type of a response that in the postmodern era and in this world you would get. They would possibly ask, really, how do you know about it? You may be Narada Muni, but how do you know about it? These are the questions. They didn't ask the demigods. This is the meaning of parampara system, Prabhupada says. As it is, you take it. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu. The Raja Rishis, great sages and great rulers, they immediately understood and they heard their preceptors. Okay, fine, if that is true, that's it, we accept what you said. As it is. Ipse dikshit, as they say. They accepted it as it is. That is the greatness. That is why a person progresses spiritually. He gets the blessings of the whole parampara by his obedience to the representative of the parampara. Success in spiritual life lies in obedience to your preceptor, obedience to the Acharya's words. And if you don't have that, there is very little chance that you will move up much in spiritual life. The Devas, they are persons who also have their sense gratification. They want to do all sorts of things. But one good quality about them is they are completely favorable to the Lord and His devotees. Anything Krishna says, anything His devotees say, they would listen. This is a characteristic of a Vaishnava. He respects Krishna's words, he respects Krishna's representative's words. Srila Prabhupada's words, they are golden, they are respected. And he has that capacity because of his purity in Krishna consciousness to command that discipline and obedience. We all know that a famous astrologer told that तुम्हारा हुक्म, आपका हुक्म चलेगा. Hukum means order. Your order will be followed. People will listen to you. You have the capacity to do that. Of course, we can analyze that in a very simple, materialistic way. Oh, this person will become very famous. People, follow his order. And he can order people around and then have an empire around him. But the real purport of that is, he's a pure devotee of the Lord. And his words will be followed. Because it will actually influence people. They will be inspired by his words, by his instructions, by his life, his teachings. Therefore they will follow him. Right? It's not that people are a bunch of idiots who will just simply listen to somebody and be a fan of somebody. Like a fan of some film actor, some sportsman or somebody. It's that because Prabhupada speaks a lot of sense and introduces you to Krishna and he speaks about Krishna to you and you are spiritually awakened and you are inspired by Paramatma inside the heart, follow this person. He is right. And in this way we follow. So similarly, the inspiration derived from listening to a pure devotee of the Lord is very amazing. That's the type of following that these people did to Narada Muni. And that's why Narada Muni had all sorts of followers. From all species of life he had disciples. Because his words were worth following. They were the absolute truth, leading you to ultimate good. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada's words were followed. Because Srila Prabhupada was speaking unadulterated, pure Krishna consciousness. And he was appealing to everybody who is a spirit soul, who is connected with Krishna and awakened their Krishna consciousness. This is purity. You see. And therefore it is essential for us to follow. If one doesn't follow the words of a pure devotee, then there's not much you can expect in the spiritual life. So all great paramparas, all the great acharyas, they are all Bhagavatas. Bhagavatas means who are walking, moving Bhagavata. Bhagavata propounds the ultimate truth and they will also speak that truth. They don't compromise it in any way, they don't adulterate it in any way. You see. So all these great acharyas, they spoke. And they were followed. They were walking, moving, living Bhagavatas. Prabhupada tells us that the person Bhagavat and the book Bhagavat, both are same. Both are same. And therefore Prabhupada also in the introduction to the Bhagavatam, he speaks about Lord Chaitanya being the perfect Bhagavat, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but come in the form of a pure devotee and giving us his role on how we should practice Krishna consciousness. And there he explains that Lord Chaitanya is a perfect Bhagavata. Prabhupada also was an amazing Bhagavata. He carried Bhagavad Dharma all over the world. His life was oozing with Bhagavad Dharma principles. So a Bhagavata, he influences everybody through his works, his teachings, his life. That is our shelter. We should have faith in the words of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada many times said things that were looking very contradictory. Just like Narada Muni is saying here, Hiranyakashipu's son is an amazing pure devotee of the Lord. Is it so? Fine. I'm sorry. They immediately accepted. So Prabhupada also said many things. Sometimes people have doubts about that because of their own inabilities, shortcomings. Many people think that, no, how can that be? Why did Prabhupada say that? But why didn't Prabhupada say this? In the back of our mind, many times we have these things. So why didn't Prabhupada give proper instructions on this? Why did Prabhupada say this about so and so? Many times people, have that feeling. Initially, when I came to the movement, when I heard that demigods are not supposed to be worshipped, from South India, I was thinking, what? Ganesha should not be worshipped. It's not necessary to worship. I said, why? Devi is like this. So and so is like this. Not this. They are all just nobody. But very disturbed. I said, well, how can you say that? How can you say that? And it took me quite some time to read the Bhagavatam and everything and understand, man, this is true. This could be true and I could be wrong. It takes time. A pure devotee's words can never be wrong. And simply on the basis of that after all it's Prabhupada who said it must be true. So I remember the initial stages when Prabhupada said, man did not land on the moon. He was right in 1966, he was there in America and the whole world is celebrating moon landing and we're talking about it. Everywhere people are talking about it. America is, one step for mankind. What is it? Some fantastic things were mentioned. And the whole world was celebrating, and here was one monk from India hanging around in American soil and saying, no, they did not land on the moon. The whole world was believing it. And he alone said no. And I know that it's written in the Leela that some of his disciples felt too much about it. I mean, if we are Americans, we gave our life and became your disciple, but this thing we can't take it. We can't take this. And a few of them left Prabhupada because he said, no, he didn't land on the moon. And now, 40 years later, you can, Google this man landing on the moon. You can see all sorts of things, They didn't land on the moon, they didn't land on the moon, they didn't land on the moon. I remember I had a book by Bill Casey. They never landed on the moon. He was a NASA scientist. And those days when I joined the movement, it was a hot book. It was published by a NASA scientist who was part of the whole program. And that book was burnt and the guy died. Nobody knows how. Nobody knows how. And the book was so difficult to get. We got Xerox copies of it in the street. I think I still have the book somewhere. That was the situation. And now you can see that people have got 101 reasons to prove that they did not land on the moon. And Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada with his walking stick walked around American soil and said, no, not true, they didn't land on the moon. They didn't believe him at that time. Right? And these are the words of Prabhupada. And he doesn't care. He's beyond time and space in this world. He just says it. And never makes a mistake. Prabhupada. I've never seen Prabhupada say, I'm sorry I made a mistake. It actually means this. He never said that anywhere. I never saw a mistake. He speaks part and no taking it back. That's it. Take it or leave it. Man didn't land on the moon. He didn't. Finish. And then, it's very difficult sometimes for hardcore materialists to believe, have faith in it. So those who have faith, they are saved. They are saved, you see. When Prabhupada in his morning conversation, walking, in those initial days, Prabhupada's disciples, some of them were dilly-dallying a little bit and, dabbling with them. Okay, let's see this person, how is he? You go there. They go to other people also. So one of the walks that Prabhupada is walking, they are telling, Prabhupada, yesterday we went to so-and-so spiritualist Swamiji's discourse. It was very early days. Prabhupada is not saying anything. After some time he says, so what did he say? And they say that he spoke about the spiritual world, about transcendence and the spiritual world. So Prabhupada after a pause says, so what do you think? There is no classical way. So what do you think? So he said, Prabhupada, it's not at all convincing. Then Prabhupada immediately answered, that is because he doesn't believe in the spiritual world. He doesn't believe it, he's talking about it, therefore he doesn't introduce belief in it. But when Prabhupada said man did not land on the moon, many of his followers believed it. Yes, it must be true. It is true. Because Srila Prabhupada said so. Right? So in this way, by having faith in the word of the Acharya, many people can be saved. It is true. It may seem phantasmagoric, it may seem impossible, but they definitely know. Narada Muni knows. How does Narada Muni know that Kayadu is having Prahlad? We can go around examining it, researching it. We will never find out. That's it. But the demigods know. If Narada Muni says so, it is true. That's it. So sometimes people think this is too much. You guys have blind faith. Right? But our blind faith is worth it because it turns out to be true. It turns out to be true. It's advantageous. Right? So there's a classical instance in the life of Ramanuja. Coming back again to Ramanuja. Very nice story that, Ramanuja is describing Lord Ramachandra's pastimes. And he's sitting on the shore of the ocean there. And this pastime of asking Sagara to surrender and separate and all that. And then they are making a plan with all his leaders. Lord Ramachandra is sitting with Jambavan, with Hanuman, all of them together and discussing a strategy, how we will make it across. At that time in Lanka, already Vibhishana has a fight with Ravana and an argument. And Ravana literally tells him, get lost. And he has a fight with him. He tells him, give back Sita. And then he says, you crazy or what? You're my brother and you talk against me. It was a big argument and Vibhishana felt very hurt. So he said, forget it, I'm leaving this guy. So along with him, some others, 2-3 of his other friends also thought to leave Ravana and they came. And they took the great risk of leaving Ravana, the treasury, their relations and everything. And they said, let's go to Ramachandra. It's a big risk to take. So they took and they came all the way. And they came here and saw this whole assembly and Lord Ramachandra discussing a strategy. How to. And by their mystic power they stood in the sky. Vibhishana and all the 4 friends. And they were folding their hands and coming in front of Ramachandra and saying, decided to leave Ravana and join you. Now Ramachandra knows he's a super soul in everybody's heart. He's also the super soul in Vibhishana's heart. He knows exactly what is sticking there. So as Ramanuja is describing this pastime, it's a very interesting pastime. Because Lord Ramachandra makes him wait there. He says, okay, and then he discusses, well, Vibhishana has come. What do you think? What do you think, Hanuman? What do you think, Jambavan? What do you think, Sugriva? What do you think? He's asking everybody. Right? And all the leaders are saying, and all of them are saying, no, that guy is, how can we take somebody from the enemy's side? And that was his brother. Forget it. He must be a spy sent by Ravana. He must be that. He is this. Each one said one thing. He's asking everybody. So Ramanuja is describing this. And by the time he came up to Hanuman, what he said, from the crowd, one of his chief disciples, Pillai Uranga Villidasan, he's a very famous devotee. He said, he starts murmuring, hearing Ramanuja describe it very picturesquely. Ramanuja is describing. He gets up and he mumbles, said, no chance for me. He wipes his backside and he gets ready to go to the crowd. Very insulting, Your Acharya is speaking and then you get up from the middle like this and then you say, forget it, man, I'm going. He gets up, dusts his backside and he goes. And Ramanuja says, where are you going? He stops the talk and said, where are you going? He said, just see, you were explaining to me Lord Ramachandra, he is the Supreme Lord, very merciful, and he is making them wait. Vibhishana has left so many things and he has come. What a great risk he has taken. You are the one who said the Lord gives surrender. Anybody who surrenders to me gives immediate shelter. Why is he making him wait? And if he has to wait, what chance I have? I don't think there's any hope for me. I am good. So he was waiting. And immediately Ramanuja corrected him. He said, no! Ramachandra doesn't have a parampara. I have one. I am coming in the parampara right from Nadamuni onwards down. And I rely on the whole parampara and I can liberate you. But he has to consult his people. But I have the power to do that. It is an amazing statement he made. But I can liberate you, but Ramachandra is in a difficult situation. He has to consult. This is the power of the parampara and the acharya, that he is empowered with the capacity to give direct mercy and give devotion and liberate people. That's why Prabhupada is saying, this is the meaning of the parampara. Therefore you must listen to the statement of the acharya. You must have faith in it. Ramanuja is correcting. I am giving you this pastime, not yet finished. Not yet finished. Don't be, disappointed. He had a problem, Vimishana, because he directly went to Ramachandra and asked. If he had gone to somebody else, a devotee of Ramachandra, he would have a better situation. But put Ramachandra in a tight position because he had said, can I take him? I mean, what do you think about it? But in his heart, Ramachandra already decided, Vibhishana, I know he's a devotee. And only Hanuman understood. And Hanuman immediately said, you should accept him. Because he has come, this proof of the fact that he is really surrendering, because he's really given up so many wonderful things and come to you. And after all, anybody who surrenders to you, you're promised that you will accept him immediately. That is Ramachandra's promise. He said that anybody who even once Tava asmiti cha uchyate abhayam sarvabhutebhyo dadami etam vratam mama. He said that it is my vow that anybody who even for once says, my Lord Ramachandra, I belong to you. Tava asmiti, I belong to you. Anybody who says that, I will instantly protect him forever. This is my vow. So Hanuman said, you have said that and he's coming and you have to accept him. That's why Hanuman is considered to be a perfect acharya. Because Hanuman samena guru. Guru should be, acharya should be like Hanuman. He understands the Lord and the living entity who wants to surrender. And he brings them together. He brings them together. And he knows the potential of the soul to be able to surrender to Krishna, and he awakens that. And he brings them to the Lord. That is why Prabhupada is very, very special personality. Yesterday we were discussing how Srila Prabhupada had the unique privilege, the opportunity and the devotional service to be the person who will propagate Bhagavad Dharma all over the globe and answer the concerns of 88,000 sages in Naimisharanya 5,000 years back. So he's a very special person. Is a wonderful Bhagavata, and therefore his words will be followed. Only foolish people may not, and that is their great misfortune. So the words of Srila Prabhupada, his instructions, don't have even 1% of error in it. This is the meaning of a pure devotee. Bhagavata means Bhagavatot Uttama, means that they are completely in connection with the Lord 24 hours a day. No forgetfulness of Krishna. Therefore, what they speak will always be correct because it's completely inspired by Krishna and they speak on behalf of Krishna. They become the mouthpiece of Krishna. There's no their own mind functioning there, their own desires functioning there or anything. It's simply what Krishna's desire is. That is expressed, that is done. That is why one should follow the authorities. Mahajano yenagata sapanta. That is why the Mahabharata is mentioned that Tarko apradishta vibhinushtayo nasa rashi yasya matam navinnam dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yenagata sapanta. You see, that is why devotees are worshipful. That's why Krishna is saying Mad Bhakta Puja Vyadika. my devotee, this type of a devotee, he should be worshipped. And in the Bhagavatam purports, Prabhupada is at one place mentioning, the pure devotee of the Lord should be worshipped. It pleases the Lord. Then he goes further to say, if the devotee of the Lord is worshipped more opulently than the Lord in the temple, it will please him very much. He goes forward to say that. See, this is the meaning of the Parampara system. We don't think in our Parampara, we should not think that all of these great personalities who play amazing roles in bringing Krishna consciousness to us, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaura Kishore Das Babaji, Jagannath Das Babaji, and all the Goswamis, Vishwanath Chakravarti, everybody played their roles perfectly. What is desired of them by Krishna, they did that. So did Gaura Kishore Das Babaji. So did Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. See, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted to do many things. He wanted to establish Vishwa Vaishnava Rajya Sabha. He wanted to have a society with a governing body commission. All these things he instituted, very vigorously he preached. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, his disciple, already Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati gave a hint. In due time, he will do everything. He turned out to be the extrapolation of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That is why he was bold enough when he was asked, Swamiji, what shall we call you? He said, you should call me Prabhupada. And that was the title used by his spiritual master. So you can imagine his godbrothers immediately how they were. Somewhere in America, he goes and he tells, you should call me Prabhupada. Then they ask him, what does it mean? It means that master at whose feet all the masters sit. He is actually speaking about his guru. He is speaking about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his meditation. And for the outside world, you see him that, oh, that's what you are? We'll call you that. Yes. Then he calls himself Founder Acharya. Put my Founder Acharya. Always you do that. Then again his godbrothers get in. See, he's calling himself Founder Acharya. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is title. He's calling himself Prabhupada. He's calling himself Founder Acharya. And Prabhupada says nothing. He continues. And then he goes beyond in Mayapur and walks in front of the Samadhi of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. They say, see, he doesn't even come inside to pay obeisances. They comment. And then he says, what do they think? You think Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is sitting in his Samadhi? He's walking close to me. He's with me. So Prabhupada was completely melted and merged into the desire of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So he, for practical purposes, he was saying, I'm doing exactly what he's supposed to do and he asked me to do and what he wants us to do. So what is wrong? And I am very well taking the title. It's not for myself. I don't want people to know that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted to form a worldwide society and it didn't happen. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted to form a GBC, it didn't happen. What will people think? So he became the veritable extrapolation of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, accepted the title and did everything. Vishwa Vaishnava Rajya Sabha, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Governing Body Commission, printing books and distributing it, temples, everything. Nothing of my desire that I want to do. Everything that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted to do, I simply stretch myself to do it, whether I like it or not. This is the example of Parampara that Prabhupada showed us. Very strictly following the order of his Guru. Very strictly following. This is Parampara system. That's why Prabhupada is saying, following the order of the preceptor. To such a great extent Prabhupada followed the instruction of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur knew that he would do it. He's going to follow it. So these are very subtle, important things that we should take seriously the instruction of Prabhupada. Right? He's a Bhagavata and he has given these amazing commentaries, especially the Bhagavatam. Fantastic commentaries. He told us, put everything inside there, distribute my books. It's an order. Sometimes he requested, therefore I request you, please help me. There's a very emotional video. Please help me, I request you to distribute these books. Right? So these books, especially the Bhagavatam, written by a Bhagavata like Prabhupada, is an amazing contribution. Every one of us should possess the set, and we should read repeatedly again and again, speak about it to others. This is Parampara system. This is what Prabhupada has asked us to do. Distribute my books, explain the content of my books to others. So this is what is the meaning of Parampara. When we carry out, so I know that our book distribution minister is here in his presence. I know that this shloka is very closely connected with following the instruction of Prabhupada. That is, distribute my books. So we should take that very seriously. Right? And try to, as much as follow. In this way the Parampara is pleased. Prabhupada named many of his disciples after great personalities in the Parampara, so that we will chant their names and we will know the great contribution they made to the society. So these are simple instructions, they are straightforward instructions. To the material mind, sometimes they look as though it is impossible. But whatever a pure devotee of the Lord says is possible. You simply have to have faith and execute it, it works. That's what Prabhupada said. I simply tried to execute the order of Bhaktisiddhanta Sri Thakur. It seemed a daunting task. How to go to the foreign lands and preach Krishna consciousness. But I thought it should be done because Bhaktisiddhanta Sri Thakur has said it. And he went and tried it. And he said, therefore it happened. Because it's true. Prithviti Ache Jata Nagradi Gram Sarvattu Prachar Vide Moranam. It's just that it is for us to go and do it. It's going to happen. You become the instrument. Prabhupada did that. You see. When Prabhupada was asked, Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of God himself, you said, and he can do anything he wants. You are struggling so much to preach all over the world. Why did not Lord Chaitanya himself spread it all over the world? And Prabhupada turned around, dug his cane in the sand and said, because he wanted me to do it. He knew that. He turned around and said, because he wanted me to do it. Similarly, Prabhupada wants us to do it. What? Distribute his books. This is Parampara. He has told us to do it. We simply have to shut up and do it. Don't speculate, Prabhupada said. Don't speculate, and you will become an instrument. And you will get the great mercy of all the previous acharyas. Right? So that's our order, that's what we're trying to execute it. And I know all of you are very wonderfully doing that, distributing books. I heard very glorious reports about book distribution. So this is our duty, and we should remain inspired. We should read the Bhagavatam. We should understand what's the content of it, and we become very inspired to give this to others. Because we read and we understand what's in it, we want to give it to others, right? So this is the system that Prabhupada has set up. So I'm very happy to be here. I think all of you have got Bhagavats with you. How many of you have Bhagavats with you, apart from those who are in the temple? How many of you have Bhagavatam sets with you? Great. How many of you don't have it? Honestly raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So you should take one. And today we should do it. You should immediately take one. Because this is December month. And this is the month. We can't simply sit and speak Bhagavatam and go. We should actually take the books. What do you think? Take a set today. Video recorder. Carry a set home today. In front of Shishi Radha Gopinath and Srila Prabhupada on the auspicious month of December marathon. Who else? Somebody else here? Yeah, you too. You should keep a Bhagavatam. It's never a loss. Bhaktisiddhanta Sri Thakur said, if all the literature in the world is got together in a big bonfire and set to fire, and the Bhagavatam alone is preserved, there is no loss. So there is no loss. In other words, it's indirectly saying, burn everything else. Indirectly you're saying, burn everything else. Keep only the Bhagavatam. Such great glory. So keep the Bhagavatam with you in your house. In the Padma Purana it says Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. So in India, in many places, we worship the Bhagavatam. During the Bhagavatam Katha and all that, we have a big arati, a full-scale arati for the Bhagavatam. We worshipable. Padma Purana describes each canto, different portions of the body of the Lord. Ending with the 10th canto is lotus face, starting with the lotus feet in the first canto. So Bhagavatam is worshipable. So Bhagavatam coming to your house is like Krishna arriving home. So take him home today. Jai. Jai Tatsat Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Any questions?
Maharaj, all yours Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, these days young generation talking about e-books. When we talk about book distribution, they say now I have a book and they show you this and they say things inside. So how do we continue to get a hard copy?
Well, is he reading the e-book? Is he reading the e-book?
Yeah, they say whenever we get time, just click and at home, at work, they say whenever we have a break, we open a Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and read that. So,
That's nice, no? He's reading the book. See, I heard in other places they're selling e-books. As soon as they say that, they give them an USB and take money for that. They sell the book. Isn't it? In some places they're doing that. They're selling e-books on USB. As soon as he says that, and inside the books now you have, you can download it at this point at this also. You have to face it. Some, but I don't think it'll last for too long. It's very difficult to sit and read like this on the screen. And the phones are not so easy to read. But some people prefer that. The new generation, they are very thrilled about moving screens and touch screens and reading. So sometimes we have to cater to that too. You are saying why we should not distribute the hard copy to them. You are asking how to distribute the hard
how
copy
to
to them.
convince them? How to convince them to get a hard copy?
Well, if somebody is reading the e-book and you know for sure he's reading, don't push him too much to read the hard book. Keep in touch with him. And over a period of time you can say, isn't it difficult to read? You read and you discuss with him and then you get him slowly and say, isn't it difficult to read? And if he says no, let him read. If he says yes, it's difficult to read, then you say hard book, take it. You'll be happy he's reading the book. You can't push it too much. But I'm sure that they'll take a hard book if they really get interested in reading. Yeah. So wait a little bit. His newfound discovery that he can read the book is this thing. It's exciting for him. So make sure he reads. And as he reads, he'll definitely come to your hard book. You have to wait a bit. Any other question? Maybe Prabhu wants to say something about it. This is a pure book distribution question.
One little comment that you probably know also was that Vibhishan, when he went there to surrender to Ram, and there was some doubt, and after there was some discussion, Vibhishan said, if what I'm saying is not true, that I will fight on behalf of Lord Ramachandra to stop my brother, then may I become a king in Kali Yuga. And then everybody said, all right, he's telling the truth. All right, I
heard that. There's another one also saying.
I heard that from your guru.
There's another one that says that you curse to become a spiritual master in Kali Yuga. Responsibility in Kali Yuga is a big. Yeah, thank you for that. Anybody else? Yes.
The story about the passing of Ramchandra is very hopeful for us. But my question is, how do we not get overconfident that because we are the Parampara that we are safe?
You can't rest on the laurels of the Parampara. You got to do work. There's in the Vyasa Puja offering this year's Disciples book, I read one where somebody came to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, save me, save me. And Prabhupada said, yes, I can save you, but you have to do the work. So reply to Prabhupada. Similarly, we have a great parampara. We have blessings, everything. But that doesn't mean you can rest on the laurels of the parampara. If you want to be part of it and if you want to get some mercy, then you have to listen to the order of the parampara and execute it. Then you're part of the parampara and you get the mercy. It's not that simply you get initiated and put a tilak and say belong to the parampara and go gallivanting around without doing anything that you need to do for the sake of pleasing the parampara. Right? Yeah. No shortcuts. Any other questions? Yes, please.
As you said about having the Bhagavatam at home, I'm not a good reader, but because I struggle to read, I'm trying to establish that habit of reading, trying to follow my Guru Maharaj's instruction, reading Bhagavatam. But having a Bhagavatam at home and not reading it, isn't that you're ignoring it and isn't that the offense?
I don't agree with you. I don't think you're not a good reader. Even without knowing about you, I can say that. Where do you work?
Where as in
Yes. You work?
Yeah, I work with a company called Hunter Water Australia.
Yeah, so you don't have to read?
Yeah, I have to read.
Doing your job?
Okay, during
All the tenders and all the quotes and all the official documents, everything, you don't read?
yeah, very little, but it's like
How come?
yeah.
How are you doing your job without reading?
it's minimum reading, not that.
Exactly. There's no chance of you saying that I don't like to read, I don't read and all that. You will have to do some basic amount of reading anyway for getting your bread and butter. Yes or no? Yeah. You have to read the document that says agreement for mortgage or whatever it is. You have to read the document. You have to do all these things. You have to. Life insurance policy. You can't tell the guy, see, I cannot read, You can charge me anything you want. I'll pay any premium you want. Yeah, really, you can't read, you're blind. He's going to charge you everything. You can't, certain basic things we need to know and we will be doing it. So if you want to lead a basic spiritual life, you must read Bhagavatam. It's a basic, fundamental document for developing love of God in your heart. We're not asking you to read the entire Vedic literature. Nigama kalpattalo kanitam phalam. The ripened fruit of the Vedic tree, at least that we must read. That's why in Kali Yuga that rule. So now don't say, even that I cannot read. You must read. You must read that. You will develop the habit of reading. I promise you, once you start opening the Bhagavatam and start reading it, you will be an avid reader after that. You try it. You open the Bhagavatam and start reading, you will become a great reader after that. Yes, become addicted to the Bhagavatam. Any other question? Thank you. Hare Krishna. Nirantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Prabhupada ki Jai. Nittai Gaura Premanande.